Yo, yo. Guys, we're um uh we're treating the parents. Are we treating? Yo, yo. Chat, I'm PvPing. Anyone want to PvP? Just type in the chat. Yo, should I buy VIP? Should I buy VIP? No. Or maybe I'm saving. Oh shit. I'm saving up. I'm saving up for Banhammer or Admin Panel. Both are rare. I mean, like not rare. You can get them, but they're expensive. Not many. Uh, oh shit. Yo, let's get us to 5,000 subscribers. Can we reach that goal? That's my biggest goal ever, just 5K. And then I'll be so glad. W, we got 2 viewers. Wait, I'm gonna check if I can, like, how do I, wait, how do I get the, how do I, bro, how do I get the chat? If anyone wants PvP, just type in the chat. I'll make an offer. Wait, wait, should we react to Darman? I mean, I would, but wait. Oh, you could put text. Wanna P PvP. Where, where's the text? Oh, damn. Why so big? Wait. So like that. The vinyl garden. Travel. Highway. Wait. I can. What should I? Like that. Look at one view. Wait. I'm gonna take a screenshot. How do you take a screenshot again? Windows Z? Wait, oh, screenshot. Oh, wait, chat. I'm gonna take a screenshot and put it in the like. Wait, Alt F. I don't. I don't have F1. How do you, bro? How do you screenshot? You broke my heart. Bro, how do I take a screenshot? Chat, how do I take a screenshot? You broke my heart. Ah. Which I'll be back. Chill. You broke my heart. I'm back, chat. Dot, dot, dot. You broke my heart. Oh. Yo, chat, 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 chat. What should we do? Chat, chat. What should we do, chat? Brian. What should we do, chat? Yo, chat. That's why it's Darman. That's why it's Darman. That's why it's Darman, chat. That's why it's Darman. That's why it's Darman. Bro, oh man, he has no new. Bro, he doesn't have new videos. He uploads like one in every year. What should we watch, chat? Uh, 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 uh. uh. Yo, chat, should we watch? No, never mind, never mind. Let me just find some videos. Hello, scammer. Oh no, 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 I ain't a scammer, bro. I ain't a scammer. Horror movies I can easily survive.
Today, we're going to be playing a little game. I'm going to give you a list with the most famous horror villains of all time, and you are going to decide which ones you think you could
What's
be.
happening? Bro. Guys, what's happening?
But what's the catch? Well, if you...
Hello?
Oh,
Okay, 1 second, mommy, I'm filming something. Anyways,
okay.
Michael Myers, Pennywise, and every horror icon you've ever been afraid of, what do they all have in common? Well, they're actually very easy to defeat. Because behind
Bro, what do you mean? What do you have to they're killers. No shit, they have something in common. Wait.
these characters' spooky masks and rusty weapons is a secret they don't want you to know. None of these villains would be scary at all if their victims were all total idiots. So today, we
Wait.
pull back the curtain, and I'm gonna break down all the legendary horror villains that I, a regular person with 2 working feet, half a brain, and mild constipation, I could definitely avoid being slaughtered by them. At the end of this video, you will never look at these villains the same way again. Before we even start dissecting the killers themselves, we have the exact thing. The characters literally sit around discussing the rules of horror movies, and then proceed to break every single one of them. They answer the creepy phone call, they open the door, they go to a massive house party in the middle of a killing spree. They have all the knowledge of how to survive, but none of the common sense. It's like watching someone read a book titled How to Not Get Eaten by a Lion, and then actively climbing into the lion enclosure at the zoo. So when I say I can beat these villains, what I'm really saying is that I can beat them because I am not required by a Hollywood script to have a brain made of wet cardboard. And the first villain I'm so confident I could defeat is in a category I like to call just a guy. These are the villains that, when you take away the creepy music, when you turn the lights on, when you mute the deafening jump scare sound effects, you realize they're just people. Regular, normal, probably has a normal job on the side, people running around in costumes they most likely bought at a Spirit Halloween that's a Macy's during the rest of the year. They're probably doom scrolling in their free time just like me and you, making 6-7 jokes. The only difference between them and us is we keep the psychotic thoughts in our head. They act on them. And one villain that perfectly describes what I'm saying is Ghostface. For those of you who haven't seen the Scream movies, Ghostface is someone who stalks people and toys with them before attacking. He'll call his victims on the phone, ask creepy questions, which usually leads to these people doing something stupid and walking right into his trap. So let's be honest about Ghostface. The whole gimmick, the main idea of the whole series is that the killer could be anyone. Like the person next to you could be the killer. It could be your best friend, your boyfriend, your weird teacher that gets uncomfortably close to you. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Mr. Stevenson. I still never forgot about that. But here's the flip side of that coin. Because the killer could be anyone, it's usually just some teenage kid that goes to your school. It's probably someone who, let's be real, you knew someday something like this would happen with them. And you're telling me that I'm supposed to be scared of Jimmy from 4th period history class just because he put on a mask and a voice changer? Have you ever actually watched Ghostface try to do anything? It's less like watching a master assassin and more like a live action blooper reel from America's Funniest Home Videos. This dude is basically a walking cartoon character slipping on a banana peel. Like there will literally be parts of the movie where I have to check to see if this is supposed to be a comedy or a horror film. It's a miracle he manages to have any victims at all. He trips over couches, he gets knocked out by his own bad driving, he runs face first into doors he just opened. Like if you watch the scenes where he's chasing someone and just switch out the scary music with some circus music, you realize this man is not scary at all. And if you think I'm exaggerating,
Wait, let me just. I'm just gonna do something real quick. I just need a picture. Just not. Wait. Image. Wait. Browse. Wait, I have one of them on here, Roblox. I have a Roblox file. I just need a picture. Sorry for I'm sorry chat for pausing so much. Just need to get a picture. Wait a second. Wait. I'm back, chat. I'm back, chat. Ye- ye- I'm back, chat. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Let's watch. Mm, Tyler Vitelli. Pro. Let's watch Tyler Vitelli. Tyler. Uh, what the fuck? Tyler Vitelli.
Hello. Today we're gonna
defeat. Because behind these villains, we're gonna break down all the legendary horror being themselves. We have to address the single most important reason why any of these horror characters are ever successful in the first place. And why is that? They just get in here with the chainsaw. Rule number 2: when being alone, clearly hear a strange, terrified that the victim get lucky. Important reason same way again. Constipation, legendary horror villain, all total idiots. So today we pull back the curtain, and I'm gonna break down all the legendary horror villains that I, a regular person with 2 working feet, half a brain, and mild constipation, I could definitely avoid being slaughtered by them. At the end of this video, you will never look at these villains the same way again. Before we even start dissecting the killers themselves, we have to address the single most important reason why any of these horror characters are ever successful in the first place. And why is that? They just get lucky because and why any of these horror characters are ever successful.
Oh, hell no, man. Oh, hell no. What the fuck is this?
Successful in the first place. And why is that? They just get lucky because everyone in these movies has the survival skills of a houseplant. Frankly, it's a miracle that the victims in these horror movies even manage to dress themselves in the morning. So no surprise they can't survive being hunted by these villains. The golden rules of being a horror movie victim is number 1, hear a strange, terrifying noise in the dark, empty basement, signaling that something dangerous is clearly down there. And if you go look to see what it is, you will not come back. And then you go investigate it alone, preferably unarmed. And you must always announce your presence when investigating by saying, "Hello, is anyone there?" As if the serial killer is gonna politely respond, "Yes, in here, with the chainsaw." Rule number 2, when being chased by a killer who is walking at a chill, normal pace, you must never, ever run out the front door to safety. No, you must run upstairs, trapping yourself on the 2nd floor with no exits. Why are we
That's so for real. Like, get out the house, man.
doing this instead of just running?
Wait, chat. I'm just gonna go drink water. Hmm. back, chat. I'm back. I'm back.
outside where you could get help. Rule number 3, if you manage to knock the killer down and get their weapon, you must immediately drop the weapon next to their unconscious body and run away instead of, you know, finishing the job. And I'm not even exaggerating how dumb horror victims are. Think about it. Michael Myers' slow walk is only menacing because his victims have the spatial awareness of a Roomba. They're always running into dead ends or tripping over thin air. The whole Scream franchise is basically making fun of this exact thing. The characters literally sit around discussing the rules of horror movies and then proceed to break every single one of them. They answer the creepy phone call, they open the door, they go to a massive house party in the middle of a killing spree. They have all the knowledge of how to
Like, first, they don't even give a shit. They just party, then they get killed, they hide. Just go out the back door.
survive, but none of the common sense. It's like watching someone read a book titled How to Not Get Eaten by a Lion and then actively climbing into the lion enclosure at the zoo. So when I say I can beat these villains, what I'm really saying is that I can beat them because I am not required by a Hollywood script to have a brain made of wet cardboard. And the first villain I'm so confident I could defeat is in a category I like to call just a guy. These are the villains that, when you take away the creepy music, when you turn the lights on, when you mute the deafening jump scare sound effects, you realize they're just people. Regular, normal, probably has a normal job on the side, people running around in costumes they most likely bought at a Spirit Halloween that's a Macy's during the rest of the year. They're probably doom scrolling in their free time just like me and you, making 6-7 jokes. The only difference between them and us is we keep the psychotic thoughts in our head. They act on them. And one villain that perfectly describes what I'm saying is Ghostface. For those of you who haven't seen the Scream movies, Ghostface is someone who stalks people and toys with them before attacking. He'll call his victims on the phone, ask creepy questions, which usually leads to these people doing something stupid and walking right into his trap. So let's be honest about Ghostface. The whole gimmick, the main idea of the whole series is that the killer could be anyone. Like the person next to you could be the killer. It could be your best friend, your boyfriend, your weird teacher that gets uncomfortably. Like the person next to you could be the killer. It could be your best friend.
Oh, hell no, man.
Your boyfriend, your weird teacher that gets uncomfortably close to you. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Mr. Stevenson. I still never forgot about that. But here's the flip side of that coin. Because the killer could be anyone, it's usually just some teenage kid that goes to your school. It's probably someone who, let's be real, you knew someday something like this would happen with them. And you're telling me that I'm supposed to be scared of Jimmy from 4th period history class just because he put on a mask and a voice changer? Have you ever actually watched Ghostface try to do anything? It's less like watching a master assassin and more like a live action blooper reel from America's Funniest Home Videos. This dude is basically a walking cartoon character slipping on a banana peel. Like there will literally be parts of the movie where I have to check to see if this is supposed to be a comedy or a horror film. It's a miracle he manages to have any victims at all. He trips over couches, he gets knocked out by his own bad driving, he runs face first into doors he just opened. Like if you watch the scenes where he's chasing someone and just switch out the scary music with some circus music, you realize this man is not scary at all. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I'm not, because there are entire compilations online dedicated to Ghostface tripping, falling, getting stuck in garage doors, and being completely beaten by normal stuff you find in a house. One of his most iconic moments is literally getting taken out by a small 90s era television. Ghostface is just a dude, let's be real, or a girl, I don't discriminate, but they don't got any powers. Literally, like if you wanted to right now, you could go on Amazon, buy the whole outfit, and become the next Ghostface. Okay, don't do that. But in theory, you could. But like I said, don't do that. I'm also pretty sure Ghostface has asthma because if you ever watch them chase people, they get winded after like one flight of stairs. He's got the lung capacity of a goldfish in a puddle. And I know what you're thinking. Okay, Tyler, you talk a big game, but how are you gonna defeat him? Well, the strategy to beat Ghostface is simple. Step 1, don't play his game. He calls you with that stupid, gravelly voice, asking what your favorite scary movie is. You know what you do? Hang up, block the number, done. His whole game depends on you being terrified. So if when he calls, you just do this. Hello?
You like scary movies?
Nope. Not today. He ain't doing anything. He needs you to be scared, to answer his questions, to run upstairs instead of out the front door, which I still don't understand. But when you're not playing his game, his whole plan just falls apart. And if that doesn't work and he still tries chasing after you, just fight back. Stop running. Remember, it's just Jimmy from history class playing dress up. The person in that mask chasing you is probably afraid to do a presentation in front of the whole class, and you're running from them. But if you think Ghostface would be easy to defeat, what if I told you there was a horror character that was even easier to get past? Don't believe me? Well, imagine watching a horror movie and the killer that everyone is so terrified of is a doll from Build-A-Bear Workshop. No, seriously, that's actually a real thing. And you all know what I'm talking about. Because the next villain
Let me guess. If it's Annabelle, everybody, the whole world has to subscribe, alright?
sliming out is Chucky the doll. I know.
Get that right! Bro!
can already hear the keyboards furiously typing. But he's not just a doll. He's possessed by a serial killer. Listen, I've seen the movies. It sounds scary on paper, but at the end of the day, he is still a 2-foot plastic doll. I'm a full-grown adult human. Okay, maybe I don't act like one, but I am. The whole reason Chucky's a successful villain is because he relies on two things: the element of surprise and his victims not believing a doll can actually talk and wield a knife. But once your homeboy gets put 6 feet underground by Chucky and you realize, oh snap, Chucky isn't just a normal Barbie doll, there's no excuse for him to get you. He's got these tiny, stubby plastic legs, which I also kind of have, but not as bad as his, meaning I can only walk at a normal, leisurely pace, not even jogging, just a brisk walk, and I could still leave him completely in the dust. He also has molded plastic hands that can barely grip his little kitchen knife. Like, you could disarm him like you're taking a Sharpie away from a toddler. This is a POV of what I'm doing if Chucky the doll tries getting me. Oh my gosh, the doll's alive. What do I do? Oh wait, I have an idea. A single, well-aimed kick, not even a powerful one, just a solid punt, would send his little redhead flying across the room like a game-winning field goal. We're talking 40, maybe 50 yards. Easy. The Chucky movies themselves repeatedly tell you what his weaknesses are. The longer his soul is trapped in the doll, the more human it becomes. This is presented as a bad thing for him, but it's a great thing for us. It means he can feel pain, he can bleed, and most importantly, he can be put down. Chucky only ever wins because his victims are literally small children, so they're low-key the same size, which that's kind of messed up, Chucky, if I'm being real. Or it's an adult that just stands there in shock because a toy is talking, so they freeze and let Chucky stab him in the ankles. And the argument people always have is, oh, well, even when you try to get rid of him, he always comes back. Oh, really? Well, have you tried everything to get rid of him? Because I don't think you
Cut his head off.
have. This is all you gotta do. Step 1, walk over and pick him up by his head like this. Come here, Chuck. Step 2, take his knife. He has the grip strength of a wet napkin. It will not be difficult. Do something smart. Step 3, get rid of him in a smart way. Lock him in a safe. Toss him in a wood chipper. Melt him with a blowtorch. Don't just throw him in the dumpster. You know he's gonna come back if you do that. And I can't lie though. I talk a big game like I would easily destroy Chucky, but when I was younger, I was terrified of him. You can't tell anyone I said this, but one time I had a nightmare that Chucky was chasing me around and I woke up to a fully wet bed. So I went to my parents' room and told them Chucky did it. They didn't believe me. But now that I'm older, I ain't scared of you anymore, Chucky. So I give myself a 95% chance of defeating this doll. But one villain that I am still
90 minus 150 out of 100, bro. He's a doll, gang. Gang, like, he's a Barbie doll. A Barbie doll. Oh my god, just cut his head off. It's easy.
low-key scared of to this day is Samara Morgan from The Ring. Now, if you don't know who this is, it's the girl from this clip. Yeah, now you recognize her. Every time I watch that clip, I still get goosebumps. But after I actually watched the full movie for the first time, I realized, wait, this chick is easy to defeat. If you don't know anything about this villain, I'll give you a quick breakdown. Samara is a ghost tied to a cursed videotape. Anyone who watches the tape is marked for death and has 7 days before Samara appears and kills them. The curse can be passed on by showing the tape to someone else, forcing victims to choose between saving themselves or dooming another person. It's creepy, it's spooky, but her whole murder method, the entire foundation of her ghostly enterprise depends on a piece of technology that is now basically a dinosaur. Her curse is spread on a VHS tape. I know I've got a lot of people who watch my content that are younger, so answer this. Do any of you guys even know what a VHS tape is? Because I'm 23 years old and even I've never used one before. So if anything, it's almost harder to become a victim of Samara Morgan than not to be. Because even if you wanted to be one of the victims in the movie, you would have to find a VCR. I know, now it just sounds like I'm saying random acronyms, but that's a real thing too. A VCR is what you put the VHS tape into, or at least that's what ChatGPT just told me. Never even seen one of those in my life besides at my grandparents' house. But they passed away a while ago. Rest in peace, by the way. So I would have to go shopping at thrift stores and sketchy garage sales just for the chance to even be haunted by her. Getting haunted by Samara Morgan is literally a homework assignment. But let's say that somehow I do all that. I find a VCR or whatever it's called on eBay, look it up, and then I watch the tape. Then what? The movie says that she calls you on a landline telephone. A landline? Who under the age of 70 has one of those anymore either? Like Samara, you don't got an iPhone or anything? I could hook you up with a T-Mobile plan if that's what you're looking for. And she lives in a well. Does she even get good reception in there? Can she send a text? Actually, nah. I know Samara's sending some freaky you up text messages with a tongue-out ghost emoji. I'm sorry, Samara, but it's 2025. You gotta have a phone without a physical keyboard on it by now. Maybe if you weren't living in a dang well, you would realize we stopped using all those ancient devices years ago. Like, you need to start attacking people by jumping through their screens on YouTube. Matter of fact, here, I'll give you the chance to jump into the viewers' houses right now. Did it work? No? Dang it. Ah! So I'm literally giving myself a 100% chance of surviving in this movie because I simply do not have a VHS tape. Next up is a villain who's an engineer, a philosopher, and a kidnapper, all while actively dying. Who am I talking?
Michael Jack, not Michael Myers.
About Jigsaw. Jigsaw is the villain from the Saw movies who kidnaps people and locks them into dangerous traps that are designed to kill them, unless they do exactly what they're told. When they wake up, they hear a recorded message explaining the rules of the game and how much time they have. The trap then starts counting down immediately, forcing them to make a fast decision. If you finish the task in time, you survive. If you don't, the trap kills you. The whole reason Jigsaw does this game is because he believes some people don't value their lives enough. He thinks putting them face to face with death will make them appreciate being alive. Now let's make one thing crystal clear. The traps in the Saw movies are terrifying. That's my worst nightmare. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Well, okay, yeah, I wouldn't. But Jigsaw himself, the guy pulling the strings, he's a terminally ill old man. He's not a physical threat at all. He's pretty much just the old man from the Up movie if Russell never came into his life. So if I ever got put in a Saw game, here's what I would do. Switch up on everyone. In a lot of these games, it's you and another person having to solve this puzzle to escape. But in many of the instances, only one of you can survive. So no offense to whoever I'm going up with, like I'm sure you're a cool person, but I ain't going on that pendulum trap just so someone I barely know can survive. The tricky part about getting out of this horror movie alive is that you don't get a warning. One day, you're going to your nearest coffee shop for some matcha, you blink, and next thing you know, you're waking up looking like this. And that's exactly why you shouldn't drink matcha. Jigsaw will put you in these games if you do it. If you get put in these games, there's no chase, no chance to run, or even a chance to use your brain to survive. That makes it kind of scary and a lot harder to survive because in almost every...
Wait. If Jigsaw... Oh, yeah, whatever. If Jigsaw is just an old man, manipulate his old ass, Grandpa. Like, just say, wait, I'm your grandson. He'll let you out. Get a pow, 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 pow. Bro, I wouldn't leave an eyeball out there. I'm throwing his ass in the trash can. And I'm locking that shit. Bro, you think I'm gonna leave his ass? Nah. Bro, I'm gonna torture his ass. My bad, Grandpa.
Other horror movie, if you just have an IQ over 5, you could survive. So with that in mind, I give myself a 20% chance of surviving in this movie. So for the Scream movies, I give myself an 85% chance of surviving. All right, so we've dealt with the guys who can be beaten by common sense. Now, let's talk about the heavy hitters, the big boys, the ones who have their own theme music that starts playing when they're nearby. They may have a lot more aura, but even these legends are beatable, and I'll show you why. The first one we got is Michael Myers. Michael Myers, he's terrifying, I ain't gonna lie. He can take pretty much infinite damage without getting hurt. He's been shot, stabbed, burned, blown up, and he just keeps on coming. Sounds like an average day in Bakersfield, to be honest. This man does not die. But, and this is a big but, for all his supernatural toughness, he has a
What do you mean big butt? Show me your butt. Yeah. Show it to me. Yeah.
massive, glaring, calendar-based weakness, his bizarre obsession with Halloween. This man is the ultimate seasonal employee. He literally...
Bro. Bruh. Just shoot him in the eyeballs. What are you doing that? That's my nightmare. Why you doing that? Why you doing that, bruh?
literally only works one day a year, October 31st. So for 364 days, and sometimes 365 during a leap year, Michael Myers is a complete non-issue. You almost have a full year to be literally anywhere else on the entire planet except Illinois, because that's the place he stays for some reason. So when that one day of the year comes around where he decides to go crazy, how do we prepare for it? I don't know, maybe leave the town? Have you ever seen Michael Myers boarding a Delta flight? Didn't think so. He just walks everywhere, very slowly, not even a jog, which I get because he doesn't want to lose aura by running after someone. Like, that's low-key embarrassing. He moves with the urgency of my mom when I'm late for school. The only reason he's successful at getting his victims in these movies is because they're stupid. You're telling me you love your
stupid? Did it just say book a flight? Bro, I'm sorry to tell you this. Bro, I'm broke! I'm broke! I'm sorry to tell you this, I'm broke! I'm broke! Like, I don't even have 15 cents in my bank account! I'm broke!
hometown so much that you aren't willing to leave it one day a year so you don't die? You would rather get posted online with some angel wings than leave your home one day a year? I mean, I'm low-key the same way. I never leave my home either, but still. And if you watch the films, one thing you will notice is that whenever someone pulls his mask off, he completely stops doing what he's doing. He could be mid-stab, but if that thing slips off his head, he's immediately stopping what he's doing and prioritizing putting it back on over anything else. He's basically like a bald guy when someone takes their hat from him. So that's his weakness. Homie is just self-conscious. Now that I think about it, he's low-key just one of us, for real. Like when he got his mask snatched in the Halloween Ends movie, he spent years hiding in a sewer, getting weak and frail. So while he can take a hit better than the best boxers of all time, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Jake Paul, all you have to do to beat
Nah. Not Jake Paul. Are you serious right now? Get your fat ass out of here. What do you mean, Jake Paul?
him is just take off his mask and then take a flight to Florida for Halloween. And you're good. So because of that, I give myself a 99% chance of surviving this movie, because why in the world would I be in Illinois anyway? No offense to
Cap.
anyone who lives there, but full offense to anyone who does live in Bakersfield. So you can beat Michael with a plane ticket and a calendar. Easy. But what about a villain who can get you anywhere, as long as you're asleep? Now we're stepping up a weight class. Now we're talking about Freddy Krueger. But here's the thing. Even the supernatural villains have their weaknesses. Freddy Krueger is very, very scary for a reason. When you're sleeping and in dreamland, he's basically unbeatable. He can bend reality, turn into your worst fears, and is, for all intents and purposes, completely invincible. He's basically the LeBron of dreams. But Freddy's whole shtick only works if you're asleep. When you're awake, he's completely powerless. He can't touch you, he can't hurt you, he's just a bad memory and a reason to buy stock in coffee companies. Now yes, eventually the human body needs to sleep. You can't stay awake forever. Some of us sleep.
Bro, I would stay up for 95 views until that guy is dead. Bro, I'm drinking 45 cups of coffee a day.
Half the day. I'm looking at all of you watching this in bed right now. Get up, go for a run or something. Matter of fact, brush your teeth because I can smell your breath through the
Oh, man.
screen. Or don't do any of that. I don't really care, because to be honest, I'm going straight to laying down right after I finish filming this video without doing any of those things. So if we know that Freddy can only get you while you're sleeping, how do we defeat him? Well, his power is also directly fueled by the fear of his victims. The more scared you are, the more powerful he becomes. He feeds on it. So if you can control your fear and realize he's just a burned up creep in a Christmas sweater, you can start to control the dream yourself. All you gotta do is look up those YouTube tutorials on how to lucid dream, and boom, you're in control now. And his biggest weakness of all, the ultimate cheat code, you can pull him into the real world. If you can grab a hold of him in the dream, his hat, his sweater, his glove, anything, and force yourself to wake up, he gets dragged, kicking and screaming, into reality with you. And in the real world, Freddy's just a guy. Matter of fact, in the real world, he's actually a singer for a British band. Okay, never mind. I just did some research. Apparently that is Freddie Mercury I'm thinking about, and not Freddy Krueger. But still, his power is exclusively tied to the dream world and is directly based on his victims. To make it sound simple, he's got zero motion in the real world. So this message is for you, Freddy. Why don't you stop hiding and come fight us on our own turf, huh? I do feel like I'm kind of gonna regret saying this, because the scary part about Freddy is that since he just appears in your dreams, there's low-key a chance I could literally see him tonight. So Freddy, if you're watching this, first of all, thanks for being a fan. Hit the subscribe button. But second of all, I don't mean anything I say in this video, okay? I don't want the smoke. I'm just trying to look tough on camera because the girl I like watches these videos. No, she doesn't. I'm just lying. But still, Freddy, leave me alone, okay? I'll give you a back massage in Dreamland or something. So if I ever get stuck in a dream with Freddy Krueger, I'm trying my best to yank him out into my world. And I'm gonna show him what a real scary place looks like. I'm sending him to Bakersfield. Chances of me defeating Freddy Krueger, 50%. Because if I do get stuck in a dream with him, I might be cooked, let's be real. Now, we got the reason I don't like camping. Well, at least part of the reason. I also just hate bugs. But that's right. Now, we're talking about Jason Voorhees. Jason is just a prime example of why all of you guys out there with mommy or daddy issues need to get those solved. Go to therapy or something.
What is mommy and daddy? Oh.
Alright? Because if you don't, bad things could happen. If you're not familiar with Jason's game, he's the character in the Friday the 13th series, and he specifically stays around a place called Camp Crystal Lake. Now, why is there still a summer camp located right where someone that just happens to constantly murder people lives? Good question. Instead, they should just build a Walmart there with a huge parking lot to get rid of this problem, but apparently they haven't realized that yet. Jason is scary because he doesn't talk, negotiate, or explain himself. He just shows up and starts removing people from the situation. He clocks in, does his job, and clocks out. He's pretty much like the perfect coworker, except he might kill his other coworkers. His whole thing is stalking campers, counselors, or anyone unlucky enough to wander near his territory. He's not a genius or anything, he just knows the area really well, and he's really strong and never gets tired, ever. Jason could chase you for 8 hours and stand perfectly still for another 8 just to be petty. Bro could even swim like Michael Phelps if he needs to. Jason is hard to beat because you can't scare him, you can't outlast him, he doesn't slow down, you can't assume he's dead because he never is. So most people lose when going up against him because they treat him like a normal threat. Oh, this is just a creepy guy in the forest, nothing to worry about. Every person that lives in the forest is a little weird. Doesn't mean they're harmful, right? And then wham! You wake up with 6 toes and 7 fingers. Now yes, Jason is very good, but we can beat him. I believe that. The point is, all we have to do to win in this movie is not go camping at this lake. If I was in the movie, it would go like this. Woohoo! Camping at the lake! This is gonna be awesome! Wait, is that a guy in a hockey mask with a 3-foot machete? Nah, we're going back to the city. But if you accidentally went camping here without being aware that this is where Jason lives, the way to defeat him is to, there is no way. Just give up. It'll make it go by quicker at least. I give myself a 70% chance of survival because like I said, I don't go camping. Now, we got a freaky villain that should be performing at birthday parties instead of massacring people. It's literally coming from outer space at a whopping 6'3", 225 pounds. We have Pennywise the Clown, or it. Not gonna lie, when you read this man's resume, it's impressive. His list of powers is ridiculous. He can change shape into your worst fear. He can control minds. He can teleport. He can make you see things that aren't really there. So on the surface, he seems completely unbeatable. But you just have to look in the fine print of his supernatural powers and you'll find some serious loopholes. First of all, he operates on a ridiculously long and convenient sleep cycle. He wakes up to cause havoc on a random city in Maine for about a year or so. Should have just chose Bakerfield. And then he goes right back to sleep for 27 years. He's low-key like my dad, except for the causing havoc part. But that 27 years gives his potential victims more than enough time to grow up, get extensive therapy, save up a little money, and move to another continent. His power is also, for the most part, stuck in that one town. The further you get from the town this story takes place in, the weaker his influence becomes. Are you guys sensing a theme here, or is it just me? In most of these movies, all you gotta do is just leave! Don't play against these horror characters when they got home field advantage. It's just like sports. There's a reason why whenever teams like Real Madrid, Arsenal, Barcelona play at home, they smack whoever the opponent is because it's hard to win when you're playing someone that has home field advantage. So don't do it. Just forfeit the match. And most importantly, Pennywise's power comes directly and entirely from your fear. So if you can stand before him, see his goofy face peeking through a gutter like this, and just laugh at him instead of getting scared, he has no chance against you. He's so easy to beat that even a group of kids figured this out in the movie. When they stood together and stopped being scared of this weirdo that lives in the sewer, Pennywise lost all his aura and all his power. But aura's more important, let's be real. And they basically just roasted him to beat him. They made fun of him, they called him Chopped, told him he's a joke, and he just deflated like
Bro, he is chopped. What do you mean?
a sad, forgotten birthday balloon. Pennywise is the definition of someone who can dish it out, but can't take it. So if I ever saw Pennywise in public, it's an easy dub. I grew up in Call of Duty lobbies.
Chill out, I'm coming.
I know how to take an insult, and I know how to give one. So I guarantee I can make him inflate back into the sky. To be honest, I'm more scared of normal clowns than I am Pennywise, so I give myself a 95% chance of beating him. Let me know in the comments below which horror movie characters you think you could beat and exactly how you would do it. Also, let me know if there's any other horror movie characters you think I should talk about. Let me know if you think there's
Let's play. Let's play Roblox. Fuck Roblox. Let's play Roblox. Bara bara bara. Bara. Chat, who wants to PvP or trade? type your name in the chat. Type your name in the chat if you want to trade. Tupac Sula Yo chat, who wants to PvP? Wait, chat, let me check the chat. Wait, that's weird. Wait, chat, let me check the chat. No, never mind. Oh, yo, my life is right here. Wait, chat, let me check the chat. That's weird. Wait, chat, let me check the chat. No, never mind. Wait. Oh, yo, my life is right here. Wait, chat, let me check the chat. That's weird. Yo, we got 4 viewers. Type in the chat if you want a PvP or if you want to trade. Here's my stuff. Donkey Turbo Express. Chat, just so you know, this is so rare. Like, this is rare. You can't get it. You can only get it from Santa. Like that Santa, not Santa Fuse, but what was his name? Oh, bad, I forgot. North Pole. You can only get it in North Pole. Bara bara bara, bara bara bara. Wait, who is this? Slurp, slurp. I'm tired. Yo, W slurp. W slurp. W slurp. W slurp. Josh. Josh. 63. W. Josh. Chill, chill. I'll be back. I'll be back. Just